I would not describe the Democrats who control California as leftists or progressives.
What would you call them?
Liberals, Democrats.
Liberals and Democrats?
I think it's different.
So what's the difference?
I think liberals are more oriented in maintaining power for themselves, dominating the political landscape of the state.
You don't think leftists are?
I don't think leftists have any semblance of political power in the U.S.
Why do you think?
I just think they've been disenfranchised by the liberal establishment, the Democratic establishment. I think progressive people's movements. Also, if you look at, there's been over a half a century plus of infiltration of these organizations by the FBI, breaking them down. And we're not just talking about communists and far left stuff here. We're talking about people's organizations, Black Panthers, Brown Berets, American Indian Movement, farm workers unions, environmental groups. They were all infiltrated and taken down by the government. And so you have the Democratic establishment claiming to be a progressive organization, but I do not think that they are.
So, it makes me think. Anthony Scaramucci said something very interesting the other day. Actually, very interesting, where he said the way the U.S. System is set up is, guy said, I'm going to go be a Congress because I think I can make some changes. And you realize you can't do shit. I'm going to go be a senator because that's where the power is. I can make some changes. And you can't do shit. I'm going to go be president because, you can't do shit. So the American system is built that somebody can't. So even if the leftists that you think could change something, if they get in, they still have to go through the other people that if you give the money to them, it's not like they're going to personally go count the money and do something good with it.
Yeah.
The money is still going to go to these institutions that's ran by people that have been there for decades that you can't do nothing about them.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing. And kind of goes back to the Luigi Mangione thing. When you talk about this deeply entrenched bureaucracy that's halting change, that kind of thing makes sense.
You know what it makes me think about, though? It makes me think about what would you trust more, a bigger government or a smaller government?
Small.
Yeah.
Small but effective in actually working for the people.
So small government means more money stays with you and I. Leave it in the market. I trust you knowing better what to do with the money with $1 million than the government.
Yeah.
I trust you instead of paying 45% of, let's just say you made $1 million last year, 45% went to taxes. You kept $550. How many more jobs would you have had if that was only 20%?
Yeah.
And you would have kept that $250,000. What realistically, let's just say you had an additional $250 last year of tax saving. What would you have done with the $250 in California?
Hired more employees, been able to expand the newsroom at a quicker pace. We expanded to the Middle East and in Mexico and elsewhere as well. The UK and New Zealand would have been able to do that a little bit faster. I was still able to do it, but definitely it's there's not quite a sting like getting an invoice from the IRS after working your ass off for an entire year. And like I said, that sting wouldn't be as bad if they were using the money well. I mean, if I was living in a world where there was no traffic, where people were happy, and there wasn't this massive, working class despair taking over, you could feel it in the air in California and elsewhere in the entire country. If that didn't exist, I would probably be okay with a higher tax rate because I would say, okay, well, I don't have to. People at large, the community, this American experiment is progressing in a mutually beneficial way.
Yeah, but if they were efficient, they wouldn't need to tax us more. You get what I'm saying? Because
like if there wasn't such bureaucracy in the government and the IRS.
Yeah, and so bless you. So, but to me, it's also deeper than that. Think about it. Like, let's just say I got 5 C-suites that are working for me: a CMO, chief marketing officer, CFO, CTO technology, chief strategy officer, and chief compliance officer. And we have a meeting at the end of the year. What's your budget? My budget is $5 million. My budget is $4 million. My budget is $3 million. My budget is $10 million. Great. If a guy at the end of the year had a $5 million budget, but ended up hitting his budget for the year and the BHAG, but they did it on 80% of the budget. So they didn't spend $5 million. He spent $4 million. You're like, dude, good job, right? You saved the company 20% of your budget. But if a guy that had a $10 million budget doesn't hit his goal, but asks for $15 million and spends $50 million, you don't have credibility.
Yeah.
So it's that simple that for me, I would much rather take more power away from them because they don't have a track record of getting good things done.
Yeah.
They keep making it bigger and bigger and bigger at what expense? So that's the part where I think a part of why Kennedy and Trump's are so hated is because the one thing those two have in common is the establishment couldn't stand these guys because they couldn't control them. What do they have in common? They both have money. And they both had the ears of who?
Yeah.
Some of the most powerful people in Hollywood, and they liked them.
Yeah.
Trump on the right, Kennedy on the left.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like that relationship where they were both hated. CIA, FBI, the Fed, who the hell are these guys? Trump's not getting along with the Fed. Kennedy didn't get along with the Fed. There's some of those commonalities where Now, the flip side of it, guess what Trump and his camp have to do? If they don't produce results, guess what happens?
What?
Oh, the other side's going to come on and say, you had him. What did they do? Nothing.
And that's kind of where I'm at as well. Like, I'm obviously not a big Trump guy, but if positive things happen for the country during the Trump term in these next 4 years, I'm going to report on that. You know, I'm not dedicated to making Trump look
I know
bad.
you are. No,
you know
I know you are, yeah.
If great things start happening, it's not like I'm going to look for an alternate angle that undermines the success. I'm just looking at how average people are living every day, happiness and, fulfillment.
Very cool. Nowadays, more than ever, the brand you wear reflects and represents who you are. So for us, if you wear a Future Looks Bright hat or a Valuetainment gear, you're telling the world, I'm optimistic. I'm excited about what's going to be happening, but you're a free thinker. You question things. You like debate. And by the way, last year, 120,000 people got a piece of Future Looks Bright gear with Valuetainment. We have so many new things. The cufflinks are here. New Future Looks Bright. This is my favorite, the green one. Just yesterday, somebody placed an order for 100 of these. If you watch the PBD podcast, you got a bunch to choose from. White ones, black ones. If you smoke cigars and you come to our cigar lounge, we have this high quality lighter cutter and a holder for the cigars. We got sweaters with the Valuetainment logo on it. We got mugs. We got a bunch of different things. But if you believe the future looks bright, if you follow our content and what we represent with Valuetainment, with PBD Podcast, go to vtmerch.com. And by the way, if you order right now, there's going to be a special VT gift inside just for you. So again, go to vtmerch.com, place your order, tell the world that you believe the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.